I V M.
Hi, I'm Utsav, a behavior researcher by training and a slow traveler by passion. Postcards from Nowhere is a travel podcast where I condense a decade of travel experiences and explore not just the where, but also the why and how to travel. My stories emerged from slow traveling the less explored parts of the world: Bosnia and Herzegovina, Armenia, Uzbekistan, and even China. At the end of each story, I give practical tips and new ideas about how to travel better. This week, I take you up close to a unique business in China and why it does not seem as absurd as the episode title suggests. In the late 90s, Xu Xin used to write an advice column for a local newspaper. He wrote about marriage advice, about how to deal with in-laws or a cheating spouse. His column was a bit of an oddity, as till then, discussions around marriage and family was controlled by the party. But his new column grew popular. It was cut out and posted on bulletin boards in housing societies. People started calling him for advice, goading him to meet them in person and offer solutions to their problems. Today, the writing career of Xu Xin is a thing of the past. He's a balding man in his 50s and runs a very successful and sought-after business which employs over 300 people. The business, though, is not far from the columns he used to write. He owns the Weiqing Group, which bills itself as China's first professional transnational love hospital. Weiqing, which means to preserve feeling, was founded 20 years ago and provides an array of services designed to save a marriage at all costs. And if you're wondering, what's so special about a marriage counseling business? It's their single biggest service: dispelling a mistress, a unique phenomenon which arose owing to rapid social change, divorce law reforms, and prevalent traditional attitudes. Sample these quotes: protect the home, protect the country. Or, divorced women are like second-hand cars, while divorced men are like second-hand apartments. Cars depreciate once used, while apartments hold their value all the time. Amongst China's elite and party officials, it's often a sign of power to have a mistress, a xiaosan, or little third, a term that encompasses everything from a partner in a casual affair to a long-term kept woman. According to one survey published in the official media, 95% of officials convicted under the president's anti-corruption drive have been found to have one or more mistresses. 3 years ago, the People's Daily published an adultery map charting the highest concentration of philanderers. What was initially a behavior exhibited by the old rich was quickly mimicked by the newly minted rich of China. Adultery is rife, with men 13 times as likely to stray as compared to women. But you would wonder, why wouldn't the Chinese women throw out the sorry ass of their cheating husbands? Enter the Chinese divorce laws. Since 2011, any wealth that a divorcing man can show he has brought with him into a marriage does not have to be shared with his ex-wife. Courts will also grant the man's family sole custody of the children, especially in rural areas. Traditional thinking also has not helped. Confucius, in his Book of Rights, wrote, "The woman obeys the man. In her youth, she obeys her father and elder brother. When married, she obeys her husband. And when her husband is dead, she obeys her son." Now, add to the mix the stigma of being divorced. Add to this that older women find it impossible to find another partner. And even if she chooses to divorce and remain unattached, she will forever be seen as a failure, a woman who could not keep her husband. Many of these women aren't financially independent, which rarely helps matters. So what do? They turn to people like Xu Xin, and he has his unique way of solving the problem. "We have 33 ways to dispel a mistress," he explains. "In marriage, there are all kinds of problems, and one is having an affair. It's very serious, bad for the family, and bad for the stability of society." He has 4 main techniques, all of which seem to involve varying degrees of deceit: persuading the mistress to fall in love with someone else, or getting the husband's boss to relocate him to a different city, getting parents or friends to intervene, and attempting to disgust the mistress by describing the husband's rotten character and nasty hereditary diseases. The other 29 are a business secret, which of course Shu Zhen will not tell you. One of his clients, now retired and dealing with a mistress, in a rare moment of candor, mused, "Marriages are their own kind of confinement," she said. The institution was never designed to be fair to women. In China, at least, the last thing marriage is about is the relationship between two people. It's about the property, the children, and the vast and various entanglements of those two things. If one looks closely, Confucius's Book of Rights has eerie similarities to Manusmriti. The imbalance of power in marriage has historically affected women, oppressing them at every step, from choosing a partner to leaving one. In our travels, we must not only see a country through the lens of its architecture, culture, and food practices, but also how well it treats its women. Because only an equitable society will see our race through in the long term. And it is our responsibility to build one, starting with our own marriages. If you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on our social media. We are at IVM Podcasts on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to reach out to me, I am Utsav Memory on Twitter and YVTravel42 on Instagram.
I hope you enjoyed that show. So another really fun week on the network. I don't know if you saw this, but Varun Thakur was on Advertising is Dead. That was a really, really fun episode. Besides that, we've had some great guests all over the place. We had Ram Madhvani on Cyrus Says. We had Saurav Mukherjee, a legend in the finance space. He was on Paisa Vaisa. He and Anupam co-written a book, so definitely do check out that episode and go buy their book too. I mean, like, that would be another great thing to do. Uncle Pleasted had a really, really cool episode with hosts of our other show, Mr. and Mrs. Binge Watch, Anirudh and Janice. They were talking about celebrity culture and how that's progressed over the last few years. And yeah, it's just been a really, really great week. One episode I do want to shout out. A couple of weeks ago, Pulyabazi did an episode which was just amazing. They were talking about the letters between Mahatma Gandhi and Rabindranath Tagore. Do check those out. Those are really good. And with that, hope to see you again next week.
Have you ever wondered how successful people do their thing? How do they navigate the challenges they often face? Are you wondering about the future of restaurants, film, education, technology, and everything else in between? Hi, I'm Gauri Devidyal, best known for being one of the brains behind The Table, an award-winning restaurant in Bombay. One thing my life as a restaurateur has given me is the opportunity to meet with some truly inspiring people, most often just by chatting with strangers at the community table. And that's what this podcast is about. It's about learning the new dimensions of business and understanding how different people swim this sea. It's an opportunity for me to pick their brains and ask them all the questions on my mind, whether it's about learning from their past experiences or talking about future trends. Through their journeys, stories, and insights, I hope you too, like me, will come away inspired and energized. So come, join me every Wednesday with your favorite drink, because this round is on me.